issues should be resolved through dialogue and negotiations. As is known, an agreement on banning import of crude oil from Iran was reached at the meeting of foreign ministers of the European Union held in Brussels, Belgium, on January 23rd last. According to the measures, conclusion of new contracts for importing crude oil from Iran were immediately banned, and existing contracts are set to be effective until July the 1st. The European Union is said to have frozen the properties of the Iranian Central Bank and banned transactions of gold and other precious metals so as to empty the purse of Iran. The measures of the European Union are further aggravating the tense situation of Iran. Now the world is feeling an atmosphere just before an imminent explosion of a war because of the approach of the U.S. large warships to Iran after Iran's speech on blockading the Strait of Hormuz. Under such circumstances, the European Union announced the measures to ban the import of crude oil from Iran, which is as good as cutting off the lifeline of Iran, synchronizing with the U.S. tactics of pressure, and further complicated the situation. Enraged by the measures of the European Union, Iran immediately retorted that such measures, far from encroaching on the nuclear sovereignty of Iran, further increased the pains of Europe, which is now suffering from economic crisis, and repeatedly warned that the possibility of blockading the Strait of Hormuz has increased. The United States aggressively threatened Iran, saying if the strait is blockaded, they would use arms. How the situation would develop in the future, war or peace? Now debates on the issue are hot on the international arena. The U.S.-led Western forces are still crying for intensifying sanctions and pressure. On the contrary, Russia, China, and many other countries call for immediate cancel of the decision, making the situation more complex, and for negotiated solution of the issue. The Foreign Ministry of Russia accused the European Union's measures to ban the import of crude oil from Iran as open pressure and coercion, saying they are in essence an attempt to stifle Iran, and stressed that Iranian issues should be coordinated in a political and diplomatic way through equal and mutually respecting dialogue based on the phased and reciprocal principles. The same can be said of China. Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao at the talks with the Prime Minister of Qatar expressed the stand of his country to resolve the Iranian issue through six-party talks. He said China wishes the Iranian issue to be resolved in a political way and is ready to promote the resumption of dialogue between the countries concerned and Iran. Turkey, Belarus, India, and other countries also expressed the same view, saying that the unilateral sanctions against Iran would only further exacerbate the situation of the strategically important Middle East. But the United States is still keying up the tense situation. The present chief executive of the United States personally announces that new sanctions would continue to be applied to strengthen pressure on Iran. Despite the warning of Iran, the United States is creating a tense atmosphere, sending the carrier Abraham Lincoln through the Strait of Hormuz. The aim of the United States is to drive the Iranian situation within and without to the extremity, create discontent between the Iranian people and government, egg the Iranian people to rise against the government, and not to take hands off before realizing the dirty purpose. At the same time, lurking behind it is the ulterior intention to demonstrate their strength to the countries in the Middle East and all other countries of the world through the change of the Iranian government. But it is a futile attempt. At the present era of independence, the United States is bringing dark clouds of war, taking issue with the peaceful nuclear activities for independent development. The dangerous acts of the United States can never be justified nor realized. If the United States ignores the unanimous desire of humankind for world peace and security and triggers off a second Iraqi war, a second Afghan war, talking about somebody's danger, it will drink only a bitter cup. Foreign sources denounce the United States for its wrong policy, which has created today's situation, and demand the United States resolve the issue through dialogue and negotiations without forgetting the past lessons.